Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today at 86 Green Street for the official groundbreaking of the Woodbridge History Museum, which right behind me is this old, very stately house on Green Street that we bought a couple of years ago. We've already done some work on it. We did the roof and we've taken down the porch and some other work, but today is the official groundbreaking of this fantastic facility. I can tell you that for years we have struggled with the concept of finding a place for a history museum in Woodbridge. These two people to my right, sitting down, Frank and Audrey Lapenta, were very, very instrumental in that task going back, what do you think, Frank and Audrey, 4 years, 5 years? Well, 30 years for these two. 30 years for these two that they've been looking for this to happen. But I'd say we got serious, I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago, looking and trying to find places and having a place, having it fall through, finding another place. It wasn't really available. We went through a whole lot before finally settling on this place, and this took a while to get done. It took a while to get it purchased. There was a lot of complications to it, but the bottom line is we have it now. We own it. We've hired the Vaughn Collaborative as architects. Warren Pagano behind me is the one working on this project along with Chip Vaughn. Chris Costi behind me is our clerk of the works. He oversees all of our projects for us. And they've been working on this for over a year, I'd say, trying to get this turned into a history museum. We've worked with Frank and Audrey. We've worked with Brenda Velasco, who'll say a few words to my left. She's the town historian. We've worked with Dan D'Arcy, who is the head of the historical, let me get the right, association. Right, there's other entities, but this is the Historical Association. Everybody behind me is somehow connected to the Historical Association. I'm not going to try to introduce everybody. There's a few I don't know, but they're all here because of their passion for the history of Woodbridge. I mean, Wayne Peck's here. Where's Wayne? Wayne's an author. He just gave me a copy of his book. Don Peck. What did I say, Wayne Peck? Wayne was the attorney. Don Peck. Yeah, here, Donald Johnstone Peck, his witness to history, the Cutter Farms in Forest, New Jersey. We have our council people, Brian Small. We have Nancy Drum, who's a First Ward councilwoman where we are now. She's also on the commission. We have a whole host of other people I'll let Dan introduce, but today is an incredibly special day because of what this means to the Township of Woodbridge and the history of Woodbridge. I'd now like to ask the stars of the show, I'll bring the microphone over to you, or maybe you don't need it, Frank and Audrey, if they'd like to say a few words about how you feel today after what has been almost a lifetime of advocacy for the history of Woodbridge. If you guys would like to say a few words.
Yes, my name is Frank Lapenta. I've been a resident of this town. My family's been here for over 100 years. We're active in all kinds of organizations, VFWs, and town parades, and we're very proud to be part of this, and we're happy to be part of this ceremony here. And we love all of you, and we thank you for coming.
Audrey?
I'm very grateful to the mayor for all his help and cooperation in getting this for us, and we'll try to make a good show of it.
Oh, you will. Don't worry, you will. And now I'd like to ask Dan, as the president of the Historical Association, if you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. Wow, we've been waiting for this for quite some time now, and what you see now, you get a glimpse of the past. And hopefully what we'll do real soon is you'll get a glimpse of the future and coordinate those two. With this building, as Audrey had said, the organization was founded about 1985. And ever since that, with the hard work of Audrey and Frank and others, there was, like I said, the organization started in 1985. It's been a dream. It's been a lot of hard work. And sometimes to the winners go the spoils, the victors go the spoils. So Frank and Audrey were a tremendous help to the organization throughout the years, not just for this event, but for the organization itself. I'd like to thank the hard work of the members behind me from the Historical Association, who also give their hard work not on a daily basis or weekly basis, but a yearly basis, and we wouldn't be here without them. And of course, the township, Mayor McCormick, without their assistance, we absolutely positively wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank everyone involved, and hope to see you in the near future. Thank you.
Can you, go ahead. maybe talk a little bit about what you envision in going on inside all these different rooms.
Yeah, we can tell you that we have hired a local historian by the name of Gordon Bond to help us in that endeavor. And what we plan on doing on the first floor on the right-hand side, we plan on developing that into a period room, which would be around 1877. So that'd be furnished, and when you walk in through the doors when you open the doors that first day, it's going to look like you're in 1877.
What's the significance of that year?
When it was built, the house was built.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right,
Okay.
all right.
On the left-hand side, as you look, there'll be a display room, our largest display room, and that will be for rotating displays where we may have something that we will put in that room, or outside entities can come in and display something in that room. Not just only the Historical Association, but any other organization in the township has the ability to do that, and outside the organization also. Upstairs, of course, we'll have an office, and there'll be 3 other rooms that'll be for displays. Some will be static, in other words, it'll be there for a long time, but we're always hopefully going to rotate all the rooms so we keep it fresh. We have in the back, we have a kitchen, we have a meeting room, we have storage in the attic, we have storage in the basement, and we're just hoping that when the day comes, you'll be able to knock on that door and we can welcome you real soon.
And the grounds itself for events?
Yeah, we have the ability we will hold events here hopefully in the front. If any other organization, I believe, wants to use our facilities, they're more than welcome. So don't be surprised if one day you come by here and you'll see all our displays. Hopefully we'll have some outdoor displays, but we'll be celebrating all the holidays out front also.
Great.
Thank you.
So the way this works is the township actually purchased the building and we're renovating it, but then the cost of the curator, anything else is borne by the association.
Yes.
So it's a great partnership. Well, this is a very sensible use of tax dollars to celebrate the history of Woodbridge. So that's why we're partnering with the association. And now I'd like to ask our historian, former 19-year councilwoman Brenda Velasco, who only left the council, which was a passion of hers, for something which was a greater passion, perhaps, I'll let her explain it, which is the history of Woodbridge. This is something she's always cared deeply about while she was on the council, and now she's the historian, and she gets to be the one who was the historian when this great facility is opening. So Brenda, can you say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor McCormick and Audrey and Frank for having the dream, the Historical Association of Woodbridge Township for coming right behind you. For the Historic Preservation Commission, there's some people in the audience. There's Frank Pelsman there. You have preserved the history of this town and done a great job. This is the oldest continuing township in the state of New Jersey, chartered by the King in 1669. And Mayor, when I left the council, I kept on saying, don't forget the 350th. Boy, did you remember. That was some slam bang celebration. So we're continuing, and within this year, within this anniversary, we now have a museum for the longest continuing township in the state, and it's a privilege being here, but I want to thank the administration. I'm still not going to keep quiet about history. Don't. Good, thank you, Carol. But enjoyed it as a teacher. I was an educator for 36 years in history. So that's my passion, my roots. Thank you, and much success.
Thanks, Brenda. That was a good way to put that. It is appropriate. I hadn't put it together in my head that this is the 350th anniversary year, and it's the year that we sort of christened the museum, which I think is terrific. Now, Don Peck, I asked him if he wanted to say a few words, and he said no. Hey, I'm the mayor, and I'm in charge of who says something, and I need you to say something. Don, as you tell me a little bit about yourself as you're talking on all the books you wrote and your utter passion for the history of a lot of things, but in particular the history of Woodbridge.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to bring you greetings from the League of New Jersey Historical Societies, on which board I serve. We're very proud to have the Woodbridge Historical Association as a member of the League, as well as the Raritan Millstone Heritage Alliance of Central New Jersey. The sites that are listed in our historic guide to Central New Jersey, many of them are here in Woodbridge, and we're very proud to be able to show those to the public. As a kid growing up here, I remember walking up School Street and up to Roland Place and passing this house many times. And also passing that wonderful sign on Route 35 on my way to number 1 school as a kid, which said that Washington passed by this way. And over the years, the township of Woodbridge and its history have always been very close to my heart, but also fascinated me as a person. And so, you know, at this age of 81, I'm very proud to say that I'm from Woodbridge. I'm a graduate of Woodbridge High School. I have a long passion for this town. I continue to contribute with my writings and my group memberships and my organization abilities within the association. But that it's just a thrill to be able to know that we are officially, as a township, celebrating everything that we have for 350 years. And going forward, I'm sure it will be very secure. So thank you all again.
Thank you, Don. Warren, would you like to say a few words? I'm curious if you could explain the challenges of this building in terms of turning a house into a museum. It can't be the easiest thing in the world. I want to say a few words about the structure here and how it's what the challenges are.
Well, we've been working on this for some time. As the mayor said, we did some initial stabilization work, replacing the roof and doing some repairs up there, so the building would be secure while we were getting the rest of this project going. Right now we're working on the exterior. As you can see, the porch has been demolished. That's going to be reconstructed of new material to match the old porch because it was in really bad shape. We've been doing a lot of measuring and checking, and things don't line up. It's typical old construction, but we're getting on top of it, and I think it's going to be a successful project. We'll be moving on next to the interior and doing some work there, and I think everything is coming along smoothly. It's going to be a great project for the township of Woodbridge, and I think for the state of New Jersey as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. I'd like now to ask Nancy Drum, as your local councilwoman here in the First Ward, but also as a member of the Historical Commission. Nancy, would you like to say a few words?
I guess I should first say, though, it's a good thing that Hugh Drum and Nancy Drum did not buy this house, because we were here several years ago looking through it, and we were going to purchase it, but it required so much work, and thank you, everybody, for what happened here. We, as a family, and everyone else here behind me and in front of me, my mom is out here, have such a deep, rich history in Woodbridge Township, starting with our local fire department, and so many people are so happy that this came to fruition. I want to extra thanks, the Historical Association of Woodbridge Township, which I am a member, but I will say I didn't really have much to do with this, so thank you all. I'm so excited. It's in my ward. I live right behind here, and I'm so looking forward to what will come to fruition and all those opportunities that it will provide to our local residents and businesses. And it's so accessible, and it's right in the heart of town. So thank you very much, and good luck with the rest of the project.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. I want to also introduce Jim Major, former councilman, who helps us now as a part-time employee overseeing some of the projects. Behind me is Chief of Staff Carolyn Ehrlich, also a former councilwoman. Our Rec Director, Vita Simaluka, is in the house. Our Communications Director, who put this all together, John Haggerty. Behind me is also Monica Eppinger, that runs our library. Cynthia Knight runs the Barron Arts Center. And I think that covers all the actual township people. Oh, Martalewski's right in front of me. Marta's right in front of me, the planning director, who gives all the permits and makes sure all the inspections happen. So thank you to everybody working for the town who helped make this happen. Is there anybody else that has anything they'd like to say before I go through one other piece of business? We're good?
Mayor?
Oh, okay. Boy, I forgot I didn't want to speak. You were coming up again.
I just want to say a word about Robert McEwen. Bob McEwen was a very important part of founding the Historical Association many years ago, and he contributed greatly to what we know about our township history, along with Virginia Bergen, who also co-authored a few books with him. And we're very honored today to have Betsy McEwen with us, and I want to just acknowledge her as well. So Betsy, thank you for all you do in your family to be part of this. Thank you. I'm also told that Barbara Wyatt's daughter is here, and Barbara, without Barbara and her sister, I don't know what we would have done. So we want to thank the Wyatts for their participation as well. Thank you.
All right, now we have one other piece of business. We started what's going to be a new practice on June 1st of 2019 at our 350th anniversary picnic over in Merrill Park. We presented 10 keys to the city, keys to the township, to people who had a long history of involvement in Woodbridge. It took me a minute, but with some help, we figured out who all those 10 were. Hadn't remembered everybody. It was Pat Trombetta, who was very involved with the Senior Billiards Club and all kinds of senior activities, along with Frank St. Marie. They both got it, including the Senior Olympics. Albert Gisani, Eric LeGrand, Pete Barcelona, who's big with our food drives. Jack McGreevy, when you talk about veterans, you talk about Jack McGreevy. Ray Miller, 30 years on the planning board. Phil Hall, a long history with the Independent Club of Colonia. Stu Brandow, was in 3 different armed service divisions and fought in several wars. And John Everhart, longtime recreation director. So the first time we're presenting a key to the city since that day is today. And the 2 people who I want to present a key to the city to are sitting to my right, and that is Frank and Audrey Lapenta, for what they have meant to the history of Woodbridge Township and to our township just as a whole. You've heard a lot of people talk, you've heard us mention them. Their advocacy and their passion for the history of Woodbridge is why we're here today. They simply would not let up. They simply pushed and pushed, respectfully pushed, but they are really the driving force into why there's 50 people standing here today. They live and breathe the history of Woodbridge. They are so involved in our community in so many different ways. You heard Frank say different boards he's been on and Audrey's been on, but the passion they've had for the history of Woodbridge has been first and foremost. And I would now like to present and ask Carol to come over with me to present Frank and Audrey with the key to the Township of Woodbridge, and thank you for your lifetime of dedication and devotion to Woodbridge Township and your absolute passion and commitment to the history of Woodbridge. And again, this museum behind us, when it opens in a year, you can rest assured it would not have been possible without your involvement in this township. So thank you very much, and please accept the key to the city as our appreciation. No, I'm not kissing you. Put that between the 2 of you. Both hold it. Both hold it there.
Brenda, if I can have you stand in, please.
Brenda, come on over.
Thank you.
All right, Frank and Audrey Lapenta. I don't want to put you on the spot, Frank, but do you want to say anything? Yeah. Want to say anything? No? Okay. All right, well, thank you all for coming out, and once again, thanks to Frank and Audrey. If you want to, is this building open to look around? Is that?
No, we can't go
in. Oh, we can't go in. All right, we can't go in, like I just said. You cannot go in the building. But feel free to walk around the grounds. Just be careful you don't fall in a ditch or something. We're not sure yet. Thank you very much for watching, folks.